Syed Fakhar Imam, Minister of National Security and Research, to share his views with us.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, Pakistan's Independence Day. Sabko Mubarak. The Honorable Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, in a speech to the Constituent Assembly 11th August 1947, had stated that now that we are an independent sovereign state, the people of Pakistan, inshallah, will be confronted with major challenges, but we, the people of Pakistan, will rise to the occasion and cope with most of those challenges. The Honorable Prime Minister Imran Khan Sahab, as the primus inter pares, the Premier of Pakistan today, is leading the country faced with some formidable challenges. As one of our speakers just mentioned, that for the last 16 months, Pakistan was confronted with two twin major challenges. One, the Locust threat, which in fact preceded COVID-19, and the government of Pakistan, the provincial governments of Pakistan, in very close coordination with the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, and most importantly, other countries, the Republic of China being perhaps the most potent and effective in coordinating and assisting us with, as Dr. Mubarak Sahab said, 600,000 liters of chemicals and all kinds of equipment. After a gap of 27 years, Pakistan was facing a very major threat of locust. The locust moves from the Horn of Africa, and when they moved in different directions, depends on the wind. It takes anywhere from 6 to 9 days for the locust to reach from the Horn of Africa, the subcontinent. And this time they moved into Iran, into Balochistan. Nearly all the 34 districts of Balochistan were affected. 9 districts of KP, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Punjab 11 districts, and Sindh about 9 to 10 districts. In fact, last year, when the National Locust Center was set up in Islamabad, and their monitoring was being done both by the international agencies, primarily the FAO, the federal government working through the ministry with the lead with Department of Plant Protection, and then the provincial governments, the district governments, and also the people of Pakistan, the farmers who were going to be affected, worked day and night. And I recall on each day, after the prayers, calling up 2 or 3 directors general of the agricultural department in the provinces and asking them where they had spent Eid, and 2 at least of the 4 from provincial governments, after Eid prayers, they were out doing the job. So that with that kind of commitment in achieving the results, in achieving and facing, it was a very major threat. In fact, it went through Afghanistan after many, many decades, and when it went across to India, the locust, it entered Nepal after 35 years, and it affected 9 states of India also. So this was a very major international threat. We in Pakistan, under the able guidance of the Honorable Prime Minister, the armed forces, were able to manage along with our people the technical guidance, and Dr. Mubarak used to give us his input on where the international scenario was, and then our own local people, the engineering in chief, General Mosim, and myself, and we also had the NDMA, now retired, General Afzal and his people coordinating from Islamabad with provinces, and every Friday for 4 hours online we used to be with them. We also visited Thar. We came here, overnighted, and when, because of rain, we could not take the helicopter, it took us 5.5 hours, and we went all the way to Thar and we saw the action on the ground ourselves. The level of commitment, as I said earlier, was unique. And if that is the spirit, and it's the spirit that matters, it's the spirit of Qaid and his leadership which created this state of Pakistan. If we 220 million citizens of Pakistan have the kind of level of commitment, devotion, dedication that this country requires, there is no reason, when I saw the kind of level of enthusiasm, the level of unique kind of bubbling of interest, some of our people who are sitting at the stage here and of the people who are in their field, this coordinated effort went into action. And despite the fact that in 1990s, early 1990s, we had 20 aircraft, now we were down to 3. We lost a 4th. Before I took off this office, unfortunately the pilot died, as did his engineer. And subsequently, over a period of time, nearly 100 young people have been recruited for this purpose. And remember one thing, countries which have gone ahead are dominating the world. They can only dominate the world if the human resource is educated with the latest in science and technology, the cutting edge, as we call it, of science. Along with that, you have to be in a position to make that, to apply it to our local conditions. And I for one feel that the human resource that Pakistan has, and we have what was called a dividend of a youth bulge, but we have to bring them along. Science, technology, IT, information technology. Other countries export hundreds of billions of dollars of information technology products. We've just started. In the last 1 year, we've gone from $1 and something billion to over $2 billion, 47% growth in 1 year, but we are far behind. We have to make up for lost time, and it is the youth, our young women, our young men, who will take up the task. I'm sure is a challenge if we can confront COVID-19, and I must give credit again to the colleagues like Honorable Asad Umar Sahab and the generals along with him, who have been monitoring on a daily level. In the beginning, I used to also go there, and I have seen with the kind of activity between the provinces that has gone on, that Allah has saved us from the kind of devastation it is called in many countries in the world. In fact, we have been said that we are in the top 3 or 4 in managing COVID-19. So some credit does go to this government and its responsible people at the top in confronting in a very meaningful way on how we are going to go ahead. The Honorable Consul General of China was stating that we are working very closely and setting up centers of excellence. We are hoping that now that China and Pakistan in the second stage of CPEC, we will go ahead. Agriculture is on the priority list, and we have a working group with them. We are hoping that value addition will come, more job opportunities will be created, and Pakistan's internal and external economic functions will get a major boost. I don't want to go on because credit goes to all the people sitting at the table. They have done wonderful things for the people of Pakistan, and I can say I'm proud of them in sharing